We're approaching signing day for the 2012 season, or for the recruiting class, that is. I'm Dan Harrelson alongside Nick Taylor, and let's talk Ohio State Buckeyes recruiting with Steve Helwagen of Bucknuts Media. Steve, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, guys. What's going on?
Not too much. So where does Ohio State stand at the moment, recruiting-wise, with Urban Meyer at the helm now?
Well, I think he's come in and obviously energized things when you look at it. They were dead in the water 2 months ago. Luke Fickell was basically the interim coach, and the season kind of went sideways, and they decided not to retain him as the head coach. You know, they had a few commitments. They were probably ranked 10th or 15th in the country with their class. It was an okay class. But since Meyer has arrived, they've just stacked one blue chip player on top of another. And even the fact that they're not going to play in a bowl game next year really has had little or no effect on these 2012 kids. They want to play for Ohio State. They want to play for Urban Meyer. They see the opportunity to perhaps contend for a championship down the line at Ohio State, even if they can't play in a bowl game next year, or this upcoming year. So he's done an outstanding job. They've taken guys from Penn State, Tommy Shutt, big-time defensive tackle out of Chicago. They took a guy from Michigan State, Savon Pittman, a defensive end from Canton, Ohio. Those two guys flipped, and another guy from Notre Dame, Taylor Decker, a big-time offensive lineman from here in Ohio. Those guys were all committed elsewhere. So it's been nothing but positive in terms of Ohio State's recruiting. A lot of the national services have moved them all the way up to third or fourth, and they just want to finish it off at this point.
Well, Steve, obviously the Urban Meyer system, the quarterback is the key component like many systems. We all know the Tim Tebow story. How do you feel like, that first of all, Braxton Miller will fit into Urban Meyer's system, and as a follow-up to that, what are some other, how are the prospects looking for a future quarterback down the line? Does Coach Meyer, without getting into specifics, unless you know of specifics, how is everything looking on the quarterback front for the future for Coach Meyer?
Yeah, I think you make a good point there. I think Miller is a good fit for what Meyer would like to do. He is a run-pass quarterback. He developed as the season went on, played some of his best football at the end, even though they lost the game at Michigan. He accounted for over 300 yards total offense in that game against a team that won 11 games, so that was pretty good. And then, obviously, in the bowl game, he did a decent enough job, threw for a couple of touchdowns, I don't know, about 180 yards, something like that, against the University of Florida. So, he's a guy with a tremendous amount of promise. I think the main issue with him is they got to find some wide receivers that can get open and make plays. They didn't have that this year, so, it's great to have the quarterback, but you got to have guys that can catch the ball. They didn't have anybody on the team that had more than 14 catches for the season, which is an absolute joke. So they got to come up with some help there. In terms of the future at the quarterback position, they have a kid who basically gray-shirted since the fall of Fort Union, Cardale Jones. He's a Cleveland Glenville guy. He enrolled in time for winter quarters, so he's a year behind Miller. If they redshirt him this year, he'd be 2 years behind Miller. And then they've got some outstanding quarterbacks here in the state of Ohio. A couple names, Malik Zaire from Karen Alter down in the Dayton area, and also Jalen Marshall from Middletown, Ohio. They're both in the 2013 class, and I think they're going to get one or both of those guys to sign with Ohio State, a year from now. And so, one of those guys would be the ultimate future. But they seem to be in pretty good shape at that position.
Sounds great.
Well,
Anything else?
Steve, thank you for coming on today. We know you have a few interviews coming up right after hours right here, but we appreciate you coming on and talking about Urban Meyer taking over the helm into his first recruiting class there.
No problem at all. Looking forward to signing day, and it should be a lot of fun.
We'll call you soon, Steve. Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.